Hi, my name is Natalie, and I've been teaching and practicing Tantric meditations for the past 10 years. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk about topics to do with Tantra, sexuality, and meditation. When I talk about masturbating without ejaculation, I don't mean not orgasming. And I think that's a little part where people might get confused. When men talk about edging, they talk about masturbating and like reaching that point of no return of that 70% and then stopping. But when you just stop with your body full of sexual energy, you know, first of all, it's very hard to stop because you kind of feel like you really want to reach that climax. Second of all, you have all that sexual energy in your body. What are you going to do with it? If you don't move it throughout your body, you're going to get blue balls or maybe pain down there. And I don't think the point is to like hold it in and then just like you're done. It's a lot more complex than that. And I wanted to explain a few of the points there from a female perspective. And I know that our bodies are different. I love the differences between men and women. I honor them and I acknowledge that they exist. But despite the differences in our bodies, physically in our bodies and specifically in our sexual organs, the process that happens with the sexual energy is quite similar. So I'm going to try and explain what we mean in Tantra when we say masturbating without ejaculating. And I think it's very important, and it's something that I just realized today. I also do my own like tantric meditations every day, and I try to understand what's going on there so that I can pass it on to as many people as possible, because I know that it's an amazing thing, that it's helped me so much in my life. And I feel an obligation to kind of pass the information on, but it's not always easy. And again, because I'm a woman, I have a female experience, and I'm trying to translate it to a male experience. And, you know, I do find that difficult sometimes. So we want to orgasm. Orgasms are fun. You know, they're the peak of the sexual experience. They're, you know, you climb a mountain because you want to get to the peak and you want to see the view. You don't want to just climb a little bit and then go back down. I mean, maybe some people do, but I don't see that as fun. When we have sex, when we masturbate, obviously we want to orgasm. But a few points there. First of all, the orgasm isn't the point of having sex or masturbating, but it's fun when it happens. But we don't want to do this in order to masturbate, because that's kind of like, well, what's the point? You've just done something with your body and then you just squirted it out of your body. You have less energy at the moment. And although you orgasmed, you feel depleted, you feel tired, you feel even more depressed than you did before. And that's because of the ejaculation. That's because of the sexual energy coming out of the body. When we talk about bringing the sexual energy up, it's not a metaphor. It's not an energetic, like spiritual thing. It is, but it's also a physical thing. We're actually bringing up the hormones, the sexual energy, the sensation of the horniness. We're bringing it up the body. And when we start bringing it upwards, at one point we will orgasm, but there won't be any liquid coming out because all the sexual energy is going to be in the upper area of the body. This is a real thing. It's something that I have experienced for years, and I know other people who do it. It might sound complicated, and to the normal person who doesn't do any yoga or any meditation, you know, these practices might not be for you. They're a little bit strange. They're a little bit weird. They're not from the world of porn or, you know, getting off. It's not from that lower plane of existence of first chakra, very like survival mode. And then people look at sex as like something very animalistic and physical. And we're not in that world when we talk about tantric sex and tantric masturbation. We're in a spiritual and connected and aware and conscious experience that we're having inside our body and with someone else. So what is happening inside our body when we're masturbating? What do we need to do there in order for the energy to go up? By the way, I have met many tantric men who orgasm internally and don't have any liquid coming out of the body when it's happening, but they experience a full body orgasm because the flow of the energy is up instead of down. If you think about it, like, a lot of us can make ourselves yawn. I know this sounds like unrelated, but it is related. So try and remember the last time you did it, or try to do it now when we're speaking here together. You kind of like breathe in, and then at the end you kind of like keep on breathing in. It might not always create a yawn, but it gives a big, like a lot of depth to the breathing. When we do these deep breaths in, when we're actually like pulling the breath upwards into the body, and we let go of our butthole, of the anus, and we do this when we're masturbating or when we have sexual energy in the body, what happens is a little bit strange, and you do have to practice this to get there, but the orgasm will go in waves up the body, and the body shakes sometimes, but you can literally feel your muscles contract, and it just goes up, and you kind of orgasm upwards. And as a woman, when that happens to me, I don't have any liquid coming outside of my body. And again, I have met men, and I do know men who do this, and when they orgasm internally, they don't have any liquid coming out, so there's no ejaculation, but there definitely was an orgasm. An orgasm is kind of the peak of the sexual energy. You're bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up, and it has to go out sometimes, or at one point. But it doesn't have to go down and out. It can go up and out. And what happens a lot of the times when we experience these internal orgasms, which are female orgasms, but men can experience them too, when sexual energy has actually gone up and we've experienced the orgasm upwards, many times after the session, we will cry. And if you think about it, crying, the tears, the water, is a type of ejaculation, but it's just not from your penis, it's from your eyes. And your eyes are in the upper side of the body, and the penis is in the lower part of the body. So it can go down and out from the penis. It's a liquid that's coming out of the body as a result of the orgasm. Or if you bring it up the body and you orgasm up, sometimes it brings out tears, like you're crying. It's an emotional release, it's an energetic release, mainly an emotional release, because that's what sexual energy does when you transmute it and you use it for healing. It will heal you. It will make you feel all the things you want to feel, and you won't feel tired afterwards. You won't feel that guilt afterwards, because I know that even from my experience, when I masturbated and kind of ejaculated out, I had a lot of guilt afterwards, like, is that okay that I did that? Should I have done that? I feel tired, I feel more lonely, I feel more depressed. But when I experience the internal orgasm upwards, and I have this relief of crying, I feel good, like I feel healthy, I feel happy, I feel like I have energy to do things in life. And believe me, I've suffered from depression my whole life. I know what it feels like to not have energy to do anything. And for years, that's how I felt. But once I started practicing daily meditations, yoga every day, working with the sexual energy in this way, when we're actually working with it internally instead of just like peeing it out all the time, because that's how it feels to me today. It's just like peeing it out, the orgasm, the sexual energy. Like, why would you do that? But I think a lot of people don't understand that when we talk about bringing the sexual energy up, it is orgasming. It's just a different orgasm that, from whatever you've experienced until now, because the only orgasm that you know is to push it down and out and ejaculate the life energy, the life force energy. No one told you that you can experience an internal orgasm. And if you look it up on Google, and you should, there's an internal orgasm and external orgasm, and they call the external orgasm male orgasm and the internal one a female orgasm. If you think about our genitals, the female genitalia, the vajayjay, is an internal organ, and the lingam, the male sexual organ, is an external one. And that's also how the sexual energy works. But females, women, can experience male orgasms when they ejaculate and when all the energy is like pushed out of the body. We can experience that as women, but it doesn't really feel good afterwards. And men can experience internal orgasms where they might cry afterwards. And crying is because we're releasing a lot of the tension and the emotional blockages that we have around our second chakra. To end this video, I also wanted to mention that if you're only doing the physical work with the sexual energy, and you're not doing any of the emotional work or the mental work to do with sexuality, you're going to get so far. I mean, it's good to practice the physical, you know, exercises and the masturbation and working with the sexual energy. That's amazing. It's good. It's great. It's healthy. But if you don't do the emotional work with the inner child and all your, you know, sexual experiences as a kid and all the memories and all the stuff that's stuck there, you'll only get so far with the physical work. And I wanted to say that because I feel like I don't talk about the emotional work enough, but I will try and like put it in my videos in the future because it is the main issue. The main issue with our sexuality is the emotional stuff that we have blocked in our second chakra and in our body and in our subconscious. So doing the physical work with the sexual energy is so that eventually we can also do the emotional work there, which does include crying. So in Tantra, we do orgasm. Orgasms are great. They just happen for us internally instead of externally. And, you know, once in a blue moon, even a tantric person will ejaculate and will see it as, actually it does happen sometimes on full moons, but it's like kind of like clearing the system, clearing some kind of emotional block that was stuck there. It's not a bad thing. We just don't want it to happen on a regular basis, and we don't want the center focus of any sexual practice to be on the ejaculation. That's it, basically. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for listening. If you like my video, please subscribe and like, and let me know in the comments your thoughts. And thank you for all the comments you've put until now. I read all of them and I try to like heart them, and, you know, thank you so much for interacting with me on this platform around these very strange but important topics. And I do private sessions online. People who want to incorporate the emotional work into the physical work they're already doing, or anyone who wants guidance, tips, just someone to talk about it with, and yeah, that helps in any journey. So let me know if that's something you want to do. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.